Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another movie review, everybody. And we are reviewing Green Lantern, everybody. That's right, the live-action Green Lantern movie. I am a huge Green Lantern fan. I love Green Lantern. Jon Stewart is my favorite Green Lantern character. And I remember when they announced this movie, I was pumped. I was so excited when they announced this movie. It came out in 2011. Ryan Reynolds, everybody, is the big star, is Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern. Mark Strong plays Sinestro, the not villain of the movie, but he should have been the villain of the movie. Blake Lively plays Carol, the love interest for Hal Jordan. Yes, Green Lantern. So, this movie is a split for me. I think the first half of the movie is great, and then the second half of the movie is dog shit. Sorry. It is. It's, man, today I reviewed some movies that I got some ranting done, that's for sure. With some Star Wars movies that I just did, and now this movie. So, but yeah, so this movie split for me. So this takes the basic origin story of Hal Jordan becoming a Green Lantern and adapts it to a live action screen. And half of it was good. And done pretty well, actually, as a fan of the comic books and everything, because I've been reading Green Lantern comic books since, like, the early 2000s. I thought they did a pretty good job with it, for the most part, the first half. The second half? Hell no. Hell no. So, the thing that I thought they did a good job with, let's talk about the good. Abin Sur is the alien Green Lantern that dies and sends the ring to search for a replacement, because the ring chooses the bearer. You don't pick a Green Lantern ring up and use it. That's not how it works. And it finds him, brings him to Abin Sur, just like it is in the comics, the cartoon shows, all that stuff. He's chosen. And then, after he has a little bit of experimenting with the ring, and he does his first construct, because when they finally use the ring and make their own construct, because the Green Lantern ring basically gives them the ability to, anything in their mind they can recreate with this power ring as a construct, whatever they're thinking. It doesn't matter what it is. So when you make your first construct, that's when the ring takes you to Oa, which is the planet and like the headquarters of the Green Lantern Corps, which are basically space cops. And they are just one Lantern Corps group in a vast universe of Lantern Corps groups. Like, they could do so much with this shit in live action movies. So much. They could make movies upon movies upon movies if they would just get it done right and get the right people working on it. Like, there's so much, like, stuff, material. Ugh, so much material. But yeah, so then you go to Oa, the Guardians. They have the Guardians there. They're these little short, little big-headed blue people. And then he goes to Oa. And we get introduced to Tamaray and Sinestro and Kilowog. And we get to see all sorts of Green Lanterns that have been in the comic books over the year. And he gets introduced to them. And we see some training go on with Kilowog and Tamaray and Sinestro. And it's awesome. And Oa looks fantastic. I thought they recreated Oa for the live action, like, almost perfectly. It looked fantastic. The suit. I didn't mind the suit. Some people were pissed about the CGI suit. You know what? I understood. I got it. I totally bought into it, because the Green Lantern costume it's not a costume. It's not a suit that he puts on. It's not made of material or fabric. It's energy. He gets the suit, the costume, from his ring. It's powered by the Green Lantern ring. So therefore, they made it look like energy on them, and how it resembled the muscle structure of Hal Jordan and all the other aliens too. Like Tamaray, he's like a fish alien. So you see that, like, it just covers their body. So, like, you can see Hal's, like, muscle structure. And, like, you can see the energy, like, flowing from the Green Lantern symbol in the middle. And it, like, flows through, like, the muscles and stuff. It looks really cool. Yeah, it was all green and black. There was no white gloves like Hal wears in the traditional style. The mask looked weird. I will say that the mask, they probably shouldn't have went with a full CGI mask. They probably should have went more practical with it because it looked weird on Ryan Reynolds' face. I'm not gonna lie. That was the one part I didn't like about it. But the suit, I thought it looked good. It looked good, and it looked like energy because that's what it was supposed to be, and that's what they were trying to do was capture the way it was in the comics. So, because it's not a suit, it's not a goddamn suit that the guy makes and throws on like Batman or Superman. It's energy, so it made sense to me. And then once he's done on Oa, he goes back to Earth because Sinestro tells him that he doesn't have what it takes to be a Green Lantern, and he goes back to Earth. That's where this movie falls apart. And that's about like 50 minutes into the movie when he goes back to Earth. That's where this movie completely falls apart, falls on its face, gets kind of boring. Ugh. So, the big villain in this movie is Parallax. So Parallax is the fear entity, which kind of powers and is a part of the Yellow Lantern Corps, which Sinestro eventually in the comic books he creates and turns into a Yellow Lantern, creates a Yellow Ring, and builds the Yellow Lantern Corps. They're one of the main arch nemesis of the Green Lantern Corps. And god damn it, they screwed up Parallax so hard in this movie. Because in the comic books, he's like this skeletal structured dragon looking thing. And in this movie, he was one of the Guardians. Like, this thing took over one of the Guardians, and he had the Guardian head, but he looked like a poop cloud. He looked like a shit cloud. Like, I'm not even joking. He looked so horrible, and he looked like a fucking poop cloud with octopus poop tentacles, and like, oh my god, what, I just don't understand what they were going with that. And for one thing, he should have not even been in this movie at all. That character should have not been introduced at this point. At all, people. At all. There is a Green Lantern animated movie that came out, I think, in 2008 or 9, in the early days of the DC animated universe. And it is literally a origin story for Green Lantern. Hal Jordan gets the ring, goes to Oa, learns from Sinestro. Sinestro is his mentor, his trainer, like a father-like type training type figure. And they're space cops, so they go on these missions to like do space cop shit. And then eventually you learn that Sinestro is not liking what is going on with the Guardians and the way that they're choosing their ideals and all that stuff. Sinestro doesn't totally buy into it or believe it anymore. And he decides that he's going to manifest this yellow fear entity power and create a Yellow Lantern ring. And then he becomes a Yellow Lantern, the sole Yellow Lantern. And then you get to see Hal learn about this, and his mentor and his trainer and a friend of his that he's fought alongside betray him, and that friendship and that trust just be deteriorated and torn down and deconstructed. And he has to take out like a good friend mentor of him, and because he became a villain, and he has to take him out, and he becomes one of the main members of the Green Lantern Corps after he takes Sinestro out. That's what this movie should have been about. Like, they should have literally taken that goddamn animated movie and slapped it on the big screen and changed it up so that it fit and flowed well on the live action scene, man. Because we get a tease of Sinestro in that Yellow Lantern costume and ring and an end credit scene. Parallax should have not been in this movie at all. Like that. And this movie should not have been on Earth. The second half of this movie should not have taken place on Earth. When he goes to Oa, the movie should have stayed in space until like the last like 10 minutes of the movie when Hal goes back after the events of the movie happen. God damn it, because there was some space stuff. It was very brief, but it was cool. Like, they did a good job with it, but it was minimal. Very minimal. Yeah, they should have had them going out on space cop duties as Green Lanterns, protecting the galaxy, arresting people that they're going after, Sinestro and him building this bond and this relationship with each other, and then they could have had Sinestro turn into the villain, and it would have made for a way more compelling story and a better movie. So I just not really sure. And as you can tell, there has not been another live action Green Lantern movie. This movie gets joked on and everything, which it deserves it, because the second half of the movie, they dropped the ball completely. It didn't turn out good at all. And the constructs and the special effects and all that stuff, I thought they looked good. I thought they did a cool job. I loved how they showed off the constructs with the Green Lanterns, and God, it was there. It was there. Damn it. We're gonna get some Green Lantern stuff, because I know that HBO Max is working on a TV show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and they said it's gonna be a buddy cop type movie, TV show type thing. So we're gonna get some more Green Lantern shit. But as far as this movie goes, damn, it's like a 50-50 thing for me, because they were going down the right path, but then they slipped and they fell and they crashed and they landed, and the movie did not turn out the way it possibly could have. So I'm gonna give Green Lantern, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I really enjoyed the first half, but the second half, bleh. So a 6 out of 10 for the one and only live action Green Lantern movie, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that ranty review. Thanks for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.